Sorry for the late start today. Those of you online, thanks for joining us. Oh, got it? Yeah. Okay, got it everywhere. We're going to jump around a little bit because we have a special guest in here this morning. Yeah, we're going to bring you up right away.
Really?
Yes.
This isn't any pressure at all to have to kick off the meeting.
Hold on, we got to get God on
Hey,
it.
what mouse is that? There's like 7 mouses.
Welcome to my world up here.
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about some coaching stuff. Everyone, welcome Jen Davis, the VP of MAPS Coaching.
We announced the 38K giveaway with MAPS last week. We had a lot of questions come back to us as what is MAPS coaching? What are the options provided? And we are very fortunate in our own market center to actually have the VP of MAPS coaching here with us. So I figured what would be the better way of explaining it than the VP herself.
Thank you. So interestingly enough, so last week I ran what would be internally called a reverse bold 1000. So those of you that have been to bold have heard of a reverse bold 100. And so I am in charge of MAPS coaching. Does anybody know what MAPS stands for?
Oh,
Mega Achievement Productivity Systems. So when MAPS is the umbrella over mastery coaching, breakthrough coaching, fast track, which is group coaching, and bold. And so when we looked at what's going on in the market, how can we be disruptive as MAPS? One of the things we looked at is why don't we run the play that we coach our agents to run? And instead of doing a reverse bold 100, what if we did a reverse bold 1000? So what that means is, for those of you that maybe have not been in the bold room, is you create a reason for 100 people to call you. So I attempted to create a reason for 1,000 people to call. Some really great things happened and some really stressful things happened. One of the stressful things, if any of you tried to call in, is there was somewhere around a 2.5, 3 hour, 4 hour wait. Now, my advice to you is this. When you do something big, you have to be ready to accept the consequences of that. So the positives are, we got 3,100 leads in one day. We had 672 live conversations in 5 hours. I did 60 one-on-one coaching calls last Wednesday. I had 0 voice left by the end of the day, and we grew MAPS. So when we look at it and we say, what could we have done better? I can give you the laundry list. And what I want to talk to you about today is with coaching, one of the things we look at is that imperfect action beats perfect procrastination every day of the week. I created chaos. I created a mess. And then what we do is we go in and we say, okay, now as a coach, what could we have done differently? So the prize last week was that. It was a $38,000 giveaway. It was $5,000 in cash. It was a free year of MAPS coaching. It was a free cyberbacker for a year, entrance into the 4 big KW events, and a seat at Gary's. Yep, cyberbacker and a seat at Gary's CEO Summit. I got the winner. It's not in our market center, sorry. I do get to talk to several of you though, in the midst of the day. I got to talk to Cassie when she was on there. So one of the things that we're gonna do today is we're gonna announce the winner later on in the day. Yet when Rachel reached out and she said, hey, not everyone knows what MAPS is. I thought this is a really great opportunity to talk about it. I got a MAPS coach, gosh, in 2014. And my MAPS coach was able to kind of dive into my business and from a different perspective and help me do things that were disruptive on our market. So for those of you that don't know me, I did create a showing agent model, which now Carrie Worsh runs at a super high level. I was the first buyer's agent in the United States to have 50% of the production for a team of our size. So I was closing 225 buy sides a year for 3 years in a row. The reason I was able to do that was because of the coaching. It wasn't, Dan was supportive, yet we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to run the play. So when we look at our MAPS coaches, we do have different products, one being Bold. So Bold is a 7-week course that many of you have attended. The next step from there is fast track coaching, which is group coaching. Those are things, Emily Baker has a group coaching program. It's Mega Listing Agent. Anna Kruger, many of you have taken hers, which is just change names to Mega Conversion something. And those are a little bit smaller price point and you're coached for a series of weeks. And then we have a step up, which is breakthrough coaching. In order to be in breakthrough coaching, your GCI in the previous 12 months needs to be $75,000 or more. In order to have a mastery coach, which is $1,000 per month, you have to have done $150,000 in GCI. So the reason those things are important is because we do have a high standard. In KW, we often talk about standards, right? Standards are what you'll tolerate. So the reason there are standards within coaching is because what we know is when we can get people into our ecosystem and get bought into KW, the number one thing that happens is we have higher retention, we have higher producing agents who are making more money and living their best life. For those of you that don't qualify, the best part is that we have a productivity coaching program. That's the first step. So for those of you that have never attempted coaching, one of my favorite people in the world is your PC coach. Shanna worked with me 6 years. So Shanna and I were on a team together for 6 years and built out the training materials that she often references. So there's something for everyone, whether it's PC coaching, whether it's bold, whether it's fast track, breakthrough, or mastery. But there's a lot of noise in the industry right now. There's a lot of noise about coaching. How do you qualify to be a coach? In order to be a MAPS coach or a bold coach, you have to have, if on a market center level, grown the market center, you have to be profitable. On the agent side, you have to have closed 75 units or more in the previous 2 years. That's bold or agent coaching. The reason I tell you that is there are a lot of people that raise their hand and say, I'm a coach. I'm a coach, I'll charge less. I'm like MAPS, I can do these things, and their standards aren't the same. Anybody can call themselves a coach. The difference is, what training did they receive? Rachel, you're a MAPS coach. What was Red Shirts like?
16 weeks of 1 hour calls plus homework every 2 nights, plus role play and script practice with the other person going through Red Shirts.
Do you feel like you were equipped to become a coach?
Oh yeah, we went over all the different models we could use in our coaching calls.
And then what happens after that? Does the training stop? Or are we just like, okay, Rachel, you're a coach, good luck?
Nope. Well, I had to do my final interview with Monica Reynolds, who Jen took her position with.
Way scarier than me.
That was very like, okay, great. I'm talking to the VP of MAPS to make sure I can become an MCA coach. And then from that, we have weekly calls through MAPS. Then I have a head coach call every week. Then I have somebody else that's an MCA coach that we have a call every week doing check-ins. So it doesn't stop, and it always, but the training that you provide to us, like at a family reunion right before, we always have a coach's training leading up to it. And so last year, Jordan Freed was able to give us like a perspective of his My Freed life whenever we brought that here. So we were able to see that at that level.
So that's the thing I want you guys, when you're looking at coaching or you're looking at investing your money, there should be a return on investment. There also should be some history with that person of who that coach is. And so when we look at it, it is constant. We're also the only coaching company owned by Gary Keller. So if you look at being fully immersed into KW, one of the ways to do that is to be within MAPS. Gary is on once a month with our coaches. It's a private mastermind that our 200 coaches have the ability to mastermind with him once a month. And so when I looked up, and Rachel and I were talking, I said, if my market center doesn't know the value of MAPS, how many others don't? And so I guess when I'm talking to you guys today, I want you to look at the top agents in our market center. So I reached out to Adam Grady this morning. I said, hey, how many coaches do you have on your team? And how long have you had them? Adam's had a coach for 8 years. He has 6 coaches that coach his team. They have 8 contracts. Do we think Adam's doing a great job? If you asked Adam, the number one reason in his success over those last 8 years, it would be MAPS coaching. He got into it because he didn't want to think the same as everyone else around him. Dan, how long have you had a MAPS coach?
10 years at the cost of 144,000, but the investment in my life of 144,000.
Value.
Personally, 10 years though,
Right.
unbroken.
And in 10 years, you've gone from $6 million in debt-ish,
6.5.
$6.5 million in debt.
Half
$6.5 million in debt to being one of the top teams in our area, the first one to take the OP in our market center, the first one to take market share, and a regional director. Was MAPS coaching beneficial?
Yeah, I'd have 4 of them if I could.
You have 4 of them. He just wants me to coach him, but different
So I
story.
got to do that every day.
Yeah. So when I look at it, the journey that we're on with KW, there are so many opportunities. And I do want you to look at, if you look at the executives in KW right now, Gary created MAPS coaching. Jason Abrams is the head of industry. Is he in St. Louis this week? He was a MAPS coach and is a MAPS coach. He's launching a fast track program around wealth building. Mark King, the president of our company, was a MAPS coach, is a MAPS coach. Sajid Patel is the COO of our company, was a MAPS coach, is a MAPS coach. And then I'm the vice president of MAPS, was a MAPS coach, and now part of the executive team of KWRI. If you ever want to be a MAPS coach or a BOLD coach, part of that is having a MAPS coach. And so I guess when I look at this, I want you guys to understand the resources that are here. If you don't want to have the monthly contract or the 2 times a week call, start with Shanna. That has nothing to do with MAPS. There's no plug for me on this. Get into coaching though. It will change your life. If you're not ready for the next step, go to BOLD. If you're ready for the next step, go to Fast Track. If you're ready for the next step, go to Breakthrough, and then eventually Mastery. Amy, you have a coach.
Yeah.
Who's your coach? Kathy?
Kathy.
Nicer.
Mhm. Yep.
Aren't you impressed I knew that? Kind of, I am.
She's awesome.
She's awesome. What have you learned?
So she was referred to me by Elise Riley.
Elise Riley also
and
uses it. Yeah.
She also uses her.
Mhm.
And
Secret
Amanda
notes.
and Elise Ellis,
And now-
we're all
yes.
now part of Kathy.
Yeah, no, we love Kathy. So she holds us accountable. What I love about Kathy is that she makes me think bigger. She holds me to a metric of measurement, and I'm so flighty, and I think of probably a lot of us agents, like, we're just like, go, 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 grab the next shiny object. And she's like, whoa, dial it back in. And what's your focus? Is that gonna get you where you want it to be? Is that necessary? Like, she's making me redo, we did my whole GPS for the year. She's making me redo all of it now because I have something else. I decided I wanna focus a little more on this next
But
year.
those are your goals, not Kathy's goals.
No, not at
So you
all.
don't have the same goal as Elise, who also
Nope.
coaches with Kathy.
Not at all. So it's customized to what you wanna build out, and she makes you at the beginning of the year, figure out, what do I wanna accomplish for this year? What does that break down to? What do I have to be doing on a daily, monthly, and basis to hit my annual goal?
I think the way I would explain it is it's just someone to shine a flashlight in your business to say, what could we improve to make you 1% better today, to make you 1% better tomorrow? And so this is not a sales pitch. I'm not trying to necessarily sell MAPS. What I'm trying to do though, is I want everyone to be really aware when someone says they're a coach, look at what the qualifications are. What did it take them to become a coach? When someone says it's half the price or it's a quarter of the price as MAPS, it would be the equivalent of like a discount brokerage. Does somebody get the same service from a full agent as they would from a discount service? So, any questions, comments, concerns?
I had a conversation with Blake Cook, and he has a business coach right now, and we had a conversation the other day. He goes, I'm so tired of building out these models to then find out that these are already created within the KW world. And I said, well, what would it look like if you got a MAPS coach that coaches agents, top agents across the whole country, that would then show you, oh, my other client in San Francisco is doing the same thing. Why don't I get you on a call with them so you can figure out how they're doing and building it out so you can take that?
Can I add to that? So Kathy monthly will have masterminds of her coaching clients where she introduces a what is everybody doing kind of thing. And so we're learning from our peer group in other parts of the country and able to implement things that they're doing that maybe nobody is doing at our market center. So it gives you the community. And then also when you go to family reunion and mega camp, your tickets are paid for
Mhm.
and you get front row seat, like they save seats for you. You get like special
And we're
VIP
having a glow
section.
party spoiler alert, there's a glow party in Anaheim, which is super fun. Yeah, I mean, you look at like the top agents, Sarah Reynolds has a MAPS coach. So those of you that know Sarah, she's one of our top agents. She has the same MAPS coach that Adam Grady has. I mean, when you look at it, she's gonna sell 2,500 homes this year. Adam will sell, I would guess, 850 to 1,000. There's a coach for any stage of your business. We also have coaches that step in and they say, okay, you're at 24 units and you want to grow, or you're at 50 units and you don't want to grow, you just want your time back. They're all different options. It's not just build a team, get bigger, do different things. It's also quality of life. So
If you guys have any questions on MAPS, we're very fortunate. Like, we have Jen, and then we also have 5 MAPS coaches within our market center. So again, outside looking in, this is not common in most market centers, and I think we're really blessed in that sort of way. If we have 2 of Gary's top 100 teams within our market center, and yet we don't realize the value or what that brings to it. So if you have any questions, Emily Baker, Jen, Jason Massengill, Monica Keltz, myself, we're all MAPS coaches. Please come and ask us any questions. We'd be happy to answer those. And we have people who are called business growth advisors that are like our team within a team. So if you have more of the technical questions, we say, mine is Paula. Hey, Paula, Amy has a question on MAPS. She would love to have a call with you. Paula will then have a call with Amy and explain all of the details within it and what the next steps would look like if you want any more of that information.
Yeah. Just, I mean, even as an example, on the market center level, Tim Beverlin is your coach,
Yes.
correct? So when you look at the market centers that have, the majority of market centers that have multiple MAPS contracts, there's 61% more owner profit that goes into those market centers. The reason for that is they're coaching your executive team. If they're also coaching your agents are selling more houses, which means that your downline is more beneficial. So anyways,
Thank you, Jen.
good, you're welcome.
Thank you. Olympics last year where that guy was swimming and he won gold and he didn't have a coach? No, that didn't happen. Every professional has a coach of some kind. And we are so fortunate to have Jen here. That's why we want to get her up at the front of the meeting because her schedule's a little crazy. So we want to make sure we had time to get her in. And we're going to see what things we're needing to hit real quick. Thanks for your patience today. We've had a lot of different things going on. By the way, don't call people you're not supposed to. Do not get sued. Do not get into situations there.
You may have seen an Inman article that just came out about KW, and I don't know if all of the dollar amounts is true. I think there was an NDA signed in between where some of it may not lie, but there is a lawsuit right now, not just KW, but other companies on this TCPA Act. So make sure you cross-reference with the do not call list before you ever make a phone call.
Yes, and please make sure before you call listings that were Keller Williams that may have expired and went right back on, check the active listings before you call people. That would be good. Okay, Don and Jim, anything today from the broker side?
I've got a class tomorrow. Anybody wants to go? 1 o'clock.
Contract class tomorrow at 1. Board renewals, January 31st. If you don't get them renewed by January 31st, you're assigned a late fee. Anybody at the end of February that is not renewed, we unfortunately have to send your license back to the state because the board will then charge us for every single person that we have that's not renewed.
So get it taken care of. Here's the breakdown for this year. It's $521. Make sure you've got that taken care of by the end of January. And you probably got an email with that link where you can just pay it right away. Also, speaking of money, today is tax day. If you're a quarterly tax person, it needs to be postmarked today for your Q4 from last year. If you're not quarterly taxed, then don't worry about it. But if you are, we just like to make sure you're aware of that each time. Now let's jump back. We're all over the place today. Our vendors that are here, let's see, let's start in the back. Who do we have? Yes, ma'am.
Stacey Strong, Legal Land Title. We're just right across the street. So if
There they
anyone
are.
needs anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. On down.
Jess Bowman, Bowman Insurance Group. We're just here to be an extension of your guys' team and just be here to assist you with anything you need insurance related. I appreciate you.
Casey, did you want to talk? or
Casey
did-
DeBerg, USA Mortgage, mark May 10th on your calendars. We're predicting rates are gonna drop on that day. That's when the CPI index goes out, it's gonna roll off of old May, it's gonna get off of there, that was the last good month we had. And now bad May is coming on, because it's a rolling 12 months, so that's. what we're
Opportunity
predicting.
May is coming.
Opportunity May. We'll catch you in a second. Let's go down.
Yeah. Don't just go telling everybody.
No, but it could be a great time for people who bought them last year to reach out and ask about refinance.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yep.
There you go, please help me out.
I've already got a list.
Nathan.
I'm Nathan Skinner, Garrison Roofing. Weather's pretty nice for January, so we're up and rocking and rolling. So whatever you need, just let us know.
Awesome.
Adam
Adam.
McGrath, Compare Insurance Agency. We specialize in working with home buyers. And just a quick endorsement of Nate. He does really great work and we are really lucky to have him here, so.
And there we go.
Ryan Barnes with Health Markets. I sell health insurance from the Affordable Care Act, also supplementals, life, and Medicare.
And anyone else?
I think Patty, yep, from Morawski is
Michelle,
online.
okay, cool. And one thing we always remind you, stay after the meeting and visit with our affiliates. That's why they're here, to help you know how to help your people better. So
And
that's
yes,
why we're
May
happy they're
10th
here.
on the chat, Guy and Paulina, May 10th is the date, he said.
Here's our calendar for the month. You can see a lot of things going on. Bold is still, or not Bold, Ignite is still going on. And then we have a bunch of you going to St. Louis the next 2 days for the training there with James Shaw and Jason Abrams.
Yeah, I think we have like 35 or 40 people from our market center going, which is amazing. That's how the presence we had at a past regional training, that's how we're getting career visioning coming here, because they're seeing Springfield show up so much. And so that's why the more we have there, the more we could say, this is why we should bring it here to Springfield. So tomorrow is Shift with James Shaw, phenomenal. If you have your shift book, make sure you bring it, because he does reference that a lot. And then the next day is Shift into Overthrive with Jason Abrams.
And that reminds me of something else that we've gotten created for you all. The entire year's calendar is ready. It's be going out where you can get copies of it or keep it wherever you want. The things to notice, and I'm sorry online, you can't see this very well. Up on the top, it says version 1.0 with the date. Obviously, things are going to change. So as they do, we'll update them. But things in white are Keller Williams Springfield events. And we've got all the way through December. We've got the whole year here for you. Things in yellow are GSBOR or MAR or things like that. Red is KW National and Regional. So everything is now on here to help you plan your calendar. And then, like I said, these will be going out.
How do they make sure they have the updated version?
Just always look for the update right here. This says version 1.0, and it'll tell the date. So whenever we do have things to change, we'll send an update notice out, but this will help you. We're gonna put these in the bathrooms again. Apparently that's the only place people read things in this office is in the bathrooms. So we'll have those in there, but the team is working to get this together. We've gone through so many calendars to merge it all. So you'll know what's going on the whole year. So there's no excuse to miss anything. All right. Let's see, taxes we did, that we did. Don't call people. Jen was here. Upcoming events in January.
Hey guys, Jason Abrams, and I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. But the good news, I'm coming to your town. I'm coming with the Shift into Overthrive World Tour. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend 3 hours talking all things lead generation, market of the moment, how to get richer, and how to have more time. That's it. People are saying to me, why are you coming? I'm only coming there for 2 reasons. Number 1, help you make more money. Number 2, help you have more time. That's it. And you're leading with tried and true methods to do both of those things. I'm not guessing. I'm not making it up on the plane ride in. I'm coming there loaded for bear. You don't want to miss it. Show up. It's going to be awesome.
So those of you that are going to that, we're going to try and get some of that as a mastermind or feedback afterwards, because there's going to be so much stuff tomorrow and the next day. Also, mark your calendar. February 7th, a new event called Vision Breakfast, right here in this room. We'll have breakfast served at 9, and then we'll have a recap meeting at 9:30. Tell them some of the stuff we're gonna be talking about on it.
I mean, we're gonna be going over everything that happened last year as highlights, and then what we're looking at doing this year. So we'll be showing our Market Center GPS. We'll talk about what we did for Springfield Cares last year, what we plan to do it this year. We'll be talking about our Red Day project, anything that you wanna know, and we're forecasting. So as a Market Center, we are moving one company, one language, one vision moving forward, so everybody knows where we're at.
So that's gonna be a cool new event. We're excited about it. Mark your calendars for that February 7th. And family reunion is coming up. Couple things on it. The agenda keeps changing. So if you click this link, or you can just look up the agenda there, it will show the whole thing. Let's see if this is back on. Okay, they keep changing it, so keep checking back. And now all the breakouts are on here too. So you can go down and you can see all the different things available. 175 different breakouts this year. All kinds of stuff happening. We have several of you going to the Gary Keller CEO Summit, invite only, but all this is now available. It is not too late to sign up for family reunion.
The cool thing about family reunion is it's very breakout intense. So if you go there, for what I recommend is have one purpose in mind. So if I'm going to family reunion and I want to learn how to hire somebody, I'm going to pick every breakout that talks about building a team, adding leverage to your life, or maybe I want to go to increase my leads or my listings. I'm going to pick every one of those breakouts. So there's very few main stages and more specific specific reasoning breakout focus compared to where Mega Camp is more of panels, main stage functions going on. Oh yes, Jen.
There are 180 breakouts.
Oh,
And they are great. I've seen the whole list, and you have a ton of people in this market center that are being highlighted,
Yeah,
including.
including Shannon.
including Shanna and Rachel.
I'm
and-
facilitating.
And Amy, you're on one?
Yeah,
What
for the
one?
relocations department.
Cool.
Jason is on one. I saw Amy's, I saw Jason, Dan's on one, Adam's team is on one, his leadership team. So it should be great. And it's all focused around shifting and KW's, we've got the 40th anniversary, it's MAP's 20th anniversary. It's fun.
So question for you, if somebody goes ahead and signs up for MAPS coaching now, do they get that free ticket for this February?
They do.
Okay,
I think Brian Stump just did that, right? He
Yeah.
signed up for Mass Coaching, so that's amazing.
John Sprott.
Oh, I love John.
He's-
He's out of St. Louis.
Yeah, I knew it was a John.
we were talking about that yesterday. I
Yeah,
couldn't remember his name.
That's
He
cool.
does, yes.
Okay, so it's gonna be fun. It is February in Missouri. It's gonna be cold. We're gonna be sitting in Anaheim. So join us. It's not too late to get on that. Stuff from the board. There's a chat service now. If you have trouble with board issues, just go to jsbr.com. Also, these are the links to some stats. We're gonna look at some of them, but you can get to all that stuff. RPAC auction. I never understood auctions, and then it finally clicked with me because I was at one, and I think Chris Russell was actually auctioneering at that time. And somebody bought a Yeti cooler at this RPAC auction for like $200, which is about what it costs anyway. I'm like, why did they do that? I'm like, oh, they actually gave a donation and got a tax credit and got the cooler. So when you buy things at an auction, you're giving money to the donation and then you get the thing. That's why things sell so much for those. You can tell all about tax savings if we're in good. So keep that in mind, but that's gonna be a fun auction at Discovery Center.
I think that's why you donate your condo to some auctions. at
We do.
times.
So we've actually done several of our condos for a 2 or 3 night stay with that. Awards. Again, we as the Market Center do not, we don't nominate anybody because you're all our children and we don't want to play favorites. But a lot of you qualify for this stuff. There's Realtor Salesperson of the Year, Broker of the Year. We got 2 of those right here. Rookie of the Year, Affiliate of the Year, Margaret Martin Cooperative Spirit. Who do you know that you can nominate for some of these awards? We would love to have KW win a lot of these because we are excellent people.
We are
So-
happy to write any letters of recommendation if you need them.
Right, but we try to stay very balanced because we want all of you to win things, so just make sure you do that. Okay, this week's focus, and we got 5 minutes to get through a lot of it, which will not be hard. Language and real estate, these are the numbers. Okay, so all this stuff will help you as you're talking because the market is shifting.
And what we're looking at doing starting next month is whenever we have the Lord, Dan's gonna stay for about 30, 45 minutes after team meeting to talk about the scripting part of it. So once we learn the language of real estate, how do we use that and what kind of conversations do we start having with our clients to educate them on what's going on in the market versus what they're hearing via internet, TV, social media?
Most other places in town are not looking at these numbers yet. Since we balance books every month, we know everything that's going on. So, and again, any of these slides you want, just email me and I'll share the whole thing with you. Here's the stats for last week. The number of listings jumped. Look at SOMO compared to last week. It went up. Actually, every number on here went up except North counties. They went down on new listings, but everything else jumped some. Listings that went pending in 1 day or less was 17. Last week it was 12. So we're starting to see more activity. And as Casey said, as interest rates start adjusting, we're gonna see more stuff happening. We did drop in number of listings, I think, because they were selling. So we're down to 1192. We were at 1251 last week. Okay, these are board stats that they were showing on there. So this is our area. This is not Keller Williams specific, but 428 homes sold in December as opposed to 681 last year. We're being told 20 to 30% change over this year. We're seeing it. Okay,
We saw a 27% drop in units sold in December at the Market Center alone.
exactly. So you got to realize the numbers are going down on number of units. Here it is broken out by Green, Christian, and Webster. And you can see the days on market is actually staying fairly close. It's still anything under 60 is really good. It's just, we've been so different the last 2 or 3 years. I always think it's interesting, the sales price in Christian County versus Green. Look at it, it was at $299 as opposed to $212 in Green. Year-to-date residential sales, homes sold dropped. Again, that's the same percentages we're hearing nationwide, we're kind of seeing it here. This is important as you talk with your people, and like we talked 2 weeks ago, when you price a house, you need to look at the actives that are going on and tell them, those are active because they didn't sell, we got to go less than that. So it's a different strategy from last year where it was like, Who cares what's gonna appraise for?
Name your
Let's throw
price,
a
let's
number.
do it.
Spin the wheel, let's see where it comes out. Okay, so all these are just basic stats of our whole area, and these are available to you. They were on your board email from Sunday night. Here's our profit or our main numbers. Profit share, we profit shared back $18,999 last month to our people, which put us over $400,000 we shared with our agents this last year. Our goal for this year is
500,000.
$500,000.
There you
And
go.
honestly, a lot of the numbers keep going up because of the coaching program, because we're getting newer agents involved and producing faster. We added 12 new agents last month. We ended up with 452 agents. Our goal was 450. Our goal for this year is 500 agents. We want to join and make our Keller Williams family grow even more. Look at listings taken. That was down dramatically from before. We're seeing a change in the numbers. And most importantly, here are our people that joined us last month. So you can see all those. Let's give them a round of applause. You know the people there, make sure to reach out to them, make them feel welcome, help them get going with things. Here are the agents that capped in December and that had their first closing. Let's give them a round of applause. And then we'll look on some also. Okay, so here's the main numbers, and you see a lot of negatives. Again, we're now, if you look at our stats compared to 2019, we're still ahead of things. But if you look at the last 2 years, it's like, holy crap, what happened? So that's kind of where we're at on these things. But you can see almost all the numbers are down except for listing sold volume. It is up, even though it shows a negative compared to last year, but the number of units is going down, the volume is still staying up. So that means a lot of agents at other places think everything's fine because the same number of dollars is coming in, but as you keep selling less and less units, it's going to change things. So just be aware, it is a shift going on. The numbers show it. Here are some cool things. Closed sales volume. Last year, we closed $1.3 billion with Keller Williams Springfield agents. Look how close that is to the year before. We didn't miss 2022 or 2021 by much.
Last 3 years, over $1 billion in sales
Yeah.
volume.
$1 billion. Have you ever looked at a picture of how many dollars a billion is? It's like truckloads of $100 bills.
And remember in 2020 when we were like, oh, come on, December, we needed to hit that billion mark.
Yeah.
And now we're meeting it before we even get to
Yeah,
December.
we're just like, yeah, it's just normal now. And that's what's skewed. Look at this. It shows that we're minus 21% compared to the month before, or the month compared to last. So the numbers look different because of the change going on. Another interesting thing, total units we sold last year. We almost hit 5,000 units again.
Which is interesting because at the end of November, and I haven't seen it for end of as a whole year for 2022 yet, but at the end of November, our market center was number 10 in all of the 816 market centers in closed unit production. So what that means is our market center, we are closing more units than a lot of these other major markets that you've seen. And so that is a huge shout out to Landon for being able to get all of these processed in a timely manner and running that very efficiently. But number 10 out of 816 offices.
And wait, you see how we compare to other people in our area on that too. Average sales price. So for the year, our average sales price ended up at $265,091 compared to $230,000 the year before that.
And if you want to see what your average sales price is, you have your own multi-year trend where you can look at that. So whenever you're getting your goals or looking at realistically how much commission you're going to want to make, then you can base it off your own average sales price.
Yep. Okay. Now you'll notice I don't have stats in the last month because last month we didn't run this. We had a Christmas sweater party instead of a lore party. So this shows you the number of active units available as of yesterday. So this shows by county. This is all residential. So this is not land, not commercial. This is what was available when I ran MLS yesterday. You can see there's still quite a bit available because we were so low last June, July. I think we were like 200 on Greene County. Okay, here it is broken down by the cities. Most of them are down. Republic was slightly up. Stratford was slightly up. Willard and Rogerville were the same. Now, again, as you're talking to people in these different towns, you have stats nobody else is looking at. So use this as you talk and say, hey, if we're in Nixa, we're competing with 113 other homes. But then they say, well, what price range though? Ah, glad you asked. So here's all of MLS. So if you're looking for a house under $100,000, there's 193 in all of SOMO. That means mostly all of 417 area code. All these numbers are down from the last 2 months also, or November, the last time we ran them. Especially the higher end ones, 750 and up, I think was 103 last month, and 1 million up was 130-ish, something like that. This is just Greene and Christian County. So if you're under 100,000, you're competing against 29 other homes right now. The biggest thing that I saw last year changing a lot was the 200 to 300s and the 100 to 200s. Those kept getting thinner and thinner. There's a few more to look at. So if you have buyers who gave up last year, it's time to say, hey, there's more homes available. Let's start the search again. I had a guy who just signed another year lease. I'm like, dang it. His 22nd year of leasing the same apartment. I'm like, you could have owned a house by now.
Apartment of that too.
Yeah. So anyway, but if he finds the right one, he says he'll still break it. So. Okay, so what can we learn from all these numbers? Because it's a lot of stats. What does it mean? The numbers are going to go down for this year. But as Adam and Dan said at the Nixon Mastermind last year, if there's a recession, you can choose not to participate in it. Are you going to keep doing the things the right way? Are you going to increase your number of lead generation? Are you going to do the things? Because most people in here that were here 2008 through 2012 took incredible market share, while those of us that weren't here were really mad about it. So,
And I think what's being talked about across KW, more specifically like ISA clients within coaching, normally it's about 20 dials a day, right? In bold, we learn 20 dials a day, 100 contacts a week, all of that. They're increasing that to almost 40. So how many dials or calls, conversations are you having per day? And if that was previously, what do you need to do to increase that to get to the same goal that you're still going to? There's a lot more work and activity you're gonna have to get back to.
but the market, there's still 4,900 houses sold this year. Somebody's going to sell them. It might as well be us. It might as well be you.
That's why I'm so excited for James. I saw James with the shift class back in
Uh-huh.
June, and he opened up with the course about mindset. And he goes, if you knew there was 400 houses that were able to be sold, do you think it would be a good year? And agents were like, depends. And he goes, well, what if you were the agent that sold all 400? Do you think you had a great year? And they're like, well, yeah. And he goes, exactly. It's out there. The opportunity is there. It's who's going to get there first. And I think the statistic is like 82% that normally a client won't use the same agent for the second time.
They would if they just stay in touch with them.
So who are you not following up with, or who did you just see on Facebook that just went active and you're like, oh, they were on my list to call?
Oh, if only there were smart plans in command that would help you stay in touch with your people. Maybe talk to Brian or Nicole and help get those going, because it will keep you in touch. So, all right, here's the big stat I want to share with you all. This is the one, this is year to date for last year. Look at that. In 2022, Keller Williams helped more families with their home needs than any other company in the area. Give yourself a round of applause. So we hit 11.9% of market share. Our goal for this year is 15%. We are choosing not to participate in a market slowdown. Second company was at 11.6. Then Keller Williams Branson was at 4.2. Company number 4, and we purposely took names out. So if you want to use this, you can. Notice down here, it says data compiled from broker metrics on the following criteria. So that way we have the proof of where we're getting our info from. Broker metrics is like baseball stats for agents. It goes on anything that's put into MLS. And that's why some of these look weird, like default member office. There are no green there. Green is listings. This is FSBOs and things like that. Company 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and whoever else sold less than FSBOs last year. Look at it that way. Okay, there were 168 new brokerages started in Springfield in the last 5 years. They're all struggling because they're not understanding how all these systems will help them. So keep that in mind as you're visiting with people, both agents that are looking for help. We want to help them. We've got ways to help them if they've started their own brokerage to get something going to put it back in and get all these systems available to them. But this is incredible, gang. You all have done amazing stuff this year, and we're excited for what's coming up next.
Our days on market was 29 days.
Oh, yeah. Come on back. There we go. 29 days on market. Company 2, 49 days. So again, talk with your people. Do you want to sell it this month or hopefully in 2 months?
And if you don't know what your days on market is or your average sales price, feel free to use the market centers in any sort of listing presentation or buyer consult that you have.
And you said earlier they can find their own numbers.
Yeah.
Here's,
Yeah, they're multi-year trends. So you're through your My KW portal, you can go on and you have your multi-year trends. So since you started at KW, it will track everything from listings you've taken to listings you sold, what that price point has been, under contracts, till your average sales price. I have a lot of people coming to me saying, what was my 1099 income over the last 3 years? You can actually find that on there as well. So that is available and ready for you to use. So if you have any questions on how to access it, please let us know.
It's updated every month when all the books are closed, so wait till after what's
Normally
called.
by like the 8th or 9th every
Yeah.
month, after transmittal and KWRI as a whole reports all the data.
And then post all your info on there. But this way you can tell what you're doing each year. And what I especially tell people, if you've been in this in a while, compare back to 2019. See what the last 2 years were like. Don't go, well, I'm settling then. Don't do that, but just look at where you were, because I think it'll give you a positive feel of what you're
And
doing.
in 2019, a lot of our agents had their best years ever
They
at that
did.
point.
Yeah,
And so it may just not be what we've seen the last couple of years, but a lot of agents we have talked to in 2019, they're like, yeah, I was happy. I hit my goals. So what did you do in 2019 that you have to now start doing in 2023?
yes. Okay, what should you be doing right now? We have found out if you put 201 new contacts in command and get them on smart plans, you will make $119,000 in a year. It's that simple. It's putting them in, getting the systems going. Add one smart plan to every contact by the end of the year. Actually, once you get going, it's like, oh my gosh, I can just do them all at once. We have people to help you learn this. Also, get into coaching and keep learning. It's kind of our theme. If you learn, you'll do better stuff with it.
And for those of you who maybe have missed it, Nicole is now stepping into our Market Center Tech Trainer. So if you have any questions on command, please let her know. She's actually going through the 30, 60, 90 tech course provided by MAPS, and they break it down every single day, 30-minute call. If you want to be a part of that, there's still time to join. Just come see Nicole and she can get you signed up.
That's right. Okay, so next week, we'll have Honors and Awards Week, where we'll go through the last stats from December so you can see who did good stuff. And we're gonna have a panel on family reunion. We're gonna help you know what to expect, why it is what it is. Okay, if you're talking to somebody who's not a Keller Williams person, I was told, don't call it family reunion, because they go, oh, that's where you're gonna start making me drink the Kool-Aid, right? It is the biggest real estate convention in the country. I was at the National Association of Realtors Convention in November. It seemed so lame is the best word I can go with. It was more of a business meeting. Oh, we're gonna talk about how to change this phrase on this line of whatever. This is about changing your life. It is not just about real estate, but we want everybody to go that can. So we're gonna have a panel next week to tell you what to expect from it and why you should look at going to it.
And every year the location rotates. So family reunion in Anaheim was actually my first one in 2018. I think next year will probably be New Orleans, and then Dallas, then Vegas, and then it kind of all repeats itself again. So Gary always choose warm locations because he doesn't want to travel anywhere cold. So anytime family reunion in February, you want to go somewhere warm, there you go.
And we got to find a place that'll hold 18,000 people, and there's only 4 or 5 in the whole country. So that's the other thing on that. And I've heard it might be getting close to sell out. So if you're thinking about it, we need to get you on there pretty quick. Thank you for attending. Thanks for being patient with our slow start. We do want to remind you all, every month, we're going to do an ALC meeting, and you're welcome to come in and see how the agents on ALC help lead the whole company and make decisions for you. Thank you all. Have a great week.
Make